This is Kugan Cassius for IFLTV. Delighted to be joined by Mr. Peter Fury. What is that, a deer behind you, Peter? Or a moose?
This is, I'm in Hughie's home. It's, yeah, it's a stag.
A
It's a
stag.
big stag with a big head and big horns.
All right, okay. Yeah, very eye-catching. So with you at the moment, Peter, you've got Hughie with you.
I've got Hughie with me and Gradus Kraus from the Netherlands. He's here doing sparring.
Okay, can they get in shot for a minute?
Yeah, you can speak to them. I'll put you on.
How you doing, Kugan?
What's happening, Hughie?
Not much, mate.
All good?
All good.
So you're in action in April, the 4th of April, is it?
Yeah, 4th of April in York.
Okay. Opponent-wise for you, do you know who that is? Or
I'm not too sure.
okay,
Whoever turns up on the night will. That's it.
that's always been your attitude, isn't it? You've never cared who.
Yeah, it doesn't really matter. The thing is, just get back active again, and hopefully get some big fights this year.
What is your path to getting them big fights, Hughie? Because of all the heavyweights, kind of the fights happening at the moment, it astounds me why you're not involved in all these fights at the moment. So, what's the path to make sure that you are involved?
You just got to wait your time, and these fights here will come, and hopefully we can get them this year. I'll fight anyone and keep doing my thing, and yeah, hopefully these fights will come.
Any names you've got in your brain that you think that could be that big fight?
I'll take anyone in the top 10. These big fights, they need to be made this year, because at the end of the day, you can't keep avoiding. Keep winning, and yeah, anyone.
So there's no names that in particular you think, do you know what, that'd be a good fight for me, etc.
Yeah, listen, there's the names. You've got the Hergovich, you've got the Zhang, all fights like that. We'll take them, no problem.
Yeah, Hergovich is obviously fighting Joe Joyce now. Possibly, again, winner of that. But like I said, there's a lot of options for you there if you can get the right fights.
Yeah, 100%. That's all it's is just the right time and the right fights. But now is the right time for me, and I believe now this is my year.
Hello.
How you doing? All right?
Yeah, I'm fine.
How's the sparring been going?
Yeah, sparring goes good.
What's happening with you at the moment, Kraus? Then obviously you're obviously in camp with Hughie at the moment. What's happening with you, fight wise?
The last one, you mean?
Yeah, as in next. What's next for you?
Oh, what's next? Also for April.
He's fighting on the same card as me.
Oh, you are? Sorry, I didn't know that. Sorry, I didn't know you were fighting on the same card.
Yeah.
Do you know who your opponent is for the 4th of April?
No, not yet.
He's been sparring, was he sparring in Birmingham? Shaq. He's been sparring other people.
Okay.
Shakan Pittas.
Shakan Pittas.
Oh, Shakan Pittas. Okay. Okay.
He's fighting for the European title, isn't he? So we've got Gradus over and he's been sparring with him.
Right, okay. Gotcha. So you're hoping for 2 wins, obviously, on April the 4th, both of you guys?
Yeah.
They will be.
All right, well, listen, we'll be there at your call anyway that week anyway, so we can talk properly about your opponents, etc. On fight week.
I'll do, Kugan.
Yeah?
Perfect. I'll say goodbye to you because we're about to go and do a sauna now.
Go on.
And ice bath and stuff. So God bless, mate, and wish you all the best.
Thank you very much, Hughie. Kraus, thank you very much as well.
Yes, thank you. Bye-bye.
Peter, how are you, first of all?
Yeah, I'm all right, you know. It's in better days, but we're all right. How are you doing?
Yeah, probably the same. It's in bad days, but it is what it is. It's all good.
To be fair, it's Groundhog Day, isn't it? In the gym twice a day. So, but look, it's got to be done. So, yeah, it's good. No, looking forward to the fight, actually. Hughie's on the 4th of April, so he's back. First fight back this year. Young Gradus here, he's fighting on the 4th of April as well, on the same bill. So that's going to be good. Shakan Pittas is fighting for the European title. It's going to be a good bill. I'm really looking forward to Shaq's fight for that light heavyweight European title. That's going to be a good fight, that is. So yeah, it's going to be a good card. What GBM's putting on again. Once again, GBM's putting some good fights on.
They've got some great shows coming up. They've got
Definitely, they have.
They've got the one in Doncaster coming up as well.
Yeah, a stadium event.
Yeah.
So yeah, they're doing good things. They're progressing and they're getting better and better all the time and putting good shows on, good fights as well.
Absolutely.
That's what we want to see, isn't it?
And all live on the zone as well, which is great exposure for all the fighters.
Well, they're getting good exposure, like you just said. It's on the zone live, so couldn't be better.
Peter, opponent-wise for Hughie, is it difficult to match this kind of fight? Because obviously we know obviously you want Hughie this year in like the biggest fights possible, but for this kind of fight, is it difficult to kind of find the right opponent who fits?
Oh, it's short. Listen, it is what it is. We're only going to get the journeyman for this because we can't really get anybody. So it's a run out for Hughie. Just treading water really until he gets somebody, but he's got to be active. He can't just sit in the gym with no fights. So he's at least he's going to be kept busy this year. But GBM, they promised Hughie a big fight in. I think probably it's going to be June now. So they want Hughie headlining a show in June, and they're looking to make him in a big fight then. Hopefully, we can get some kind of a title strap to it as well. So at least then the plan is that then if we fight somebody good and decent, he's got something to bring to the table because at the moment he's all risk and no reward for a lot of these fighters, and this is the problem. So we just got to get him in that position, Kugan. You know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely. There was obviously in that situation in Saudi Arabia where Daniel Dubois was ill. We saw kind of a press release regarding Hughie. So Peter, he was bang up for that. Was he 2-3 days notice to jump in there and
no, listen, that was just having a bit of humour. You know, he wasn't he's not camp ready, so no. He wouldn't be. The only time he'd be ready to jump in if he was camp fit, training, proper sparring and ready, which isn't the case. So also, the only reason he'd be jumping in is for the money, and he's certainly not going to be doing that. So really, just a bit of sport, really, but there's no truth in it. It's all shit.
right.
All shit social media crap.
Well, we saw a few fighters put their names up. Obviously, the one name that we probably didn't expect for it to be Martin Bacoli came there at 3 days' notice, and obviously we saw kind of the outcome of that. But yeah, I saw Hughie's name being mentioned, and I thought I'd ask you about it. That's all.
No, nothing in there. Nothing in it, Kugan.
Okay. Right. Have you been keeping tabs on all the Eubank and Benn stuff, or little bits of it, or?
Yeah, I've seen bits of it. It's exciting. I'm looking forward to the fight. I think it's going to be that's going to be a great fight. I think both are going to be the best they can possibly be as well because of the animosity there and what's at stake and reputations and the fathers and it's got the great mix for everything to be an exciting fight, and I think it will be. I think we're going to see the best Eubank, and I think we're going to see the best Conor Benn.
Obviously, Eubank last week was fined for £100,000 for the egg slap. Was that excessive or what? What do you think?
Yeah, I think it's excessive. There's a rule for one and a rule for somebody else. I don't think 100 grand for what? You know, an egg. Please go and get some eggs at the shop and plaster me with them, and I'll gladly do it for 5 grand. Do you know what I mean? And then I think I'd won the lottery. So listen, I think it's all part of the build up, and you got to see the humorous side of it. So yeah, I didn't take anything with it. £100,000. But look, the board are the board. It's up to them. Who am I to say? But for me, no, I don't even think it warrants anything.
It did spark a debate, not about the egg slap as much. Well, that obviously that caused the attention, but it did cause some questions about where the money, 100 grand, is actually going. I spoke to a few fighters that have questioned kind of where that money is going. And also we saw Nick Blackwell the other day, who had put his social media comments on there regarding that as well. It is a legitimate question, though, isn't it? If boxers are fine that where that's going, I think that the line we've had back from there, which I don't disbelieve, obviously it goes to a Boxers in Need program, staffing costs, etc. But it is a legitimate question if that money is being fined, where that money goes.
It is, but let's look. We've got to look at what the Boxing Board of Control does. You know, they've got it. They've got the act right around the ring. They got the best of life-saving facilities there, second to none. So there will be costings, won't they? And I assume these fines, I don't know what they're for, but to say that they're going to the boxers in need, like what? Because that's a broad-reaching answer. Could mean anything, you know. So, but every boxer's in need. But what I call in need is when a boxer's after his career and he's got, like Nick Blackwell, where he's got brain injuries and stuff, and he can't do anything. So then, if some of that money's going to him, you know, then that's what I call boxers in need. But nothing like that's happening, and I don't know of any boxers like that who are getting money from the Boxing Board of Control. But that's not to say I'm criticising the Boxing Board of Control, because I'll just say it as it is. You know, they've invested heavily and done a great job looking after the fighters, making sure they're okay, all the safety procedures. So the Boxing Board of Control does everything in the ring and leading up to the fight, the rules, everything spot on. But there's no aftercare. So that 100 grand is not going to any aftercare, I can tell you that now. Because it isn't. We'd know about it if it was. Somebody pipe up and say, oh, I've just had 20 grand or whatever. It's not happening. So whatever they're doing with it, they'll know what they're doing. And that's not for me. I'm not going to speculate on anything. But the Boxing Board of Control, you know, they probably ain't staffed, ain't got enough people. Probably they can't venture into looking after people for the aftercare. This is why this Boxers in Need has been set up. You know, a good friend of mine here, he's out of Manchester. You know, he's spearheading it. And there's other organisations now. I was talking to Paul Smith the other day, and Paul Smith's doing something. You know, and I spoke to him briefly at some mutual friends of ours. It was his son's birthday, and I seen him there. And they're doing stuff. And I think there's another organisation that's doing stuff. The Ring, is it, or something I've seen? So there's one or two things out there, and people need to get behind these organisations. It doesn't matter to me which body they're putting the money in, as long as it's going and the fighters are getting it. That's the main thing, isn't it? So it doesn't matter if it's Boxers in Need or what Paul Smith's doing. I don't know the name of his charity, or there's another one, the Ring something. All these things, they need pulling to the forefront, and people need to try and donate a bit of money and get a thing going. I'll tell you what it needs to be like. It needs to be run similar to the Boxing Board of Control. So there is a body out there that's looking after these fighters, and they don't need to be brain injured or whatever. You know, you've got fighters that's had 100 and plus journeymen where they've had tons of fights. There's nothing after the boxing. They don't know what to do. There's no money there. They put their careers into it. You know, help should be like a bit of like a pension for them as well. So when they finish their career, they're rewarded for it after. So all that would be a nice thing to do for the fighters.
When I spoke to Paul Smith, I actually spoke to Paul Smith in Liverpool a few days ago, and you know, I kind of said that what we'd been told about where some or part of that money goes, etc. And Paul kind of questioned, well, he'd like to see receipts but at the same time, we also know what you said a few minutes ago is quite accurate as well, in that obviously they've got staffing costs and they have got costs as well. And these fines obviously do contribute to some of this stuff as well. It's never going to be 100 grand fine, 100 grand goes to one particular thing. We know that. But I'd like to interview someone from the board about this, to be honest with you. It's something I'll look to do this week, actually, to get some clarity actually about if they could give a break.
I think you've hit it on the nail, you know. It's all right, people outside, they're the boxing board. They speak to somebody then, speak to an official there, and get their take on it and find out where the money goes.
Yeah, I
So
think
that's the thing. We can all speculate, but somebody needs to come out from the boxing board and say exactly how they run it and what they do. So yeah, and listen, with businesses, it's all on public record anyway.
yeah,
So it shouldn't be a problem for them to come out and say exactly what's what.
absolutely. That is something I'll look to do this week. I'll reach. I've got a couple of contacts that.
But listen, I got nothing to. I think the boxing board of control is a good thing. I think we're the safest boxing in the world, and I think for everything like this, I think it's very good.
Yes, I agree. But for the fight itself, Peter, are you leaning towards one or the other with Benn and Eubank?
Eubank's the bigger man. Can you still see me? Okay.
Yeah, I got you.
Right. So Eubank's the bigger man. He's gonna. I can see how both could win it, and it's who's got the better of it. I don't see Eubank coming on his front foot. I see him just trying to pick Benn off on the way in, because Benn is Connor's very aggressive, so he's going to be coming forward. He's going to be putting it on Chris Eubank. So I think Chris will know that. He'll use his leverage. He'll use his length, and he'll try and walk Connor onto shots. He'll try and keep it long as much as he can, tie him up on the inside so he can't get his work off. And I think it's going to be this type of fight for Eubank. I think for Benn, yeah, he's got to be. I think he'll be smartly educated and educated pressure.
Mm.
You just can't walk into Eubank like a bull in a china shop. You know, this is boxing, and I'm sure it's a mix of 2-3. So hopefully Benn doesn't start headhunting, because that's the worst thing you can do when you're fighting a back foot fighter.
Yeah.
You always go to the body first and then come up. You know, that's the only thing I'd say for young Benn. You know, because sometimes, and you know, the animosity's got to end when the bell goes, because if you're emotionally involved, you're not going to get the best. Because if you're emotionally involved in that fight, you'll do things that you normally wouldn't do. You're going to load up sooner or later. And when you do that and you're emotionally there, then it's going to affect your skill set, your speed, your timing. And Eubanks will read it, he'll see it, and be able to act on it to his advantage.
Peter, do you think that Chris's father, Senior, will be involved at some point in the build-up?
It'd be nice if he is. They're a nice family, aren't they? And you know, the father's been an exceptional fighter in his day, world champion, one of the best around. His father and son, so it's always nice to see families be together. You know, I know he was there for Harlem Eubank. I think Harlem's his nephew.
Yeah.
And yeah, so it would be nice. It would be nice if they're all there, yeah, for sure.
Absolutely. It just seems like he's the missing part to the whole build-up at the moment, whether he's involved or not, yet to see. But it seems like the build-up to this fight, which is going to be a huge occasion on April 26th, it kind of needs him as the missing part. But, you know, we'll see what happens.
Yeah. But listen, it'd be nice for him to be there. And I hope they can sort it out. So whatever it is, they can sort it out between them.
Absolutely. Other than that, Peter, all good?
Yeah, just doing the training, Kugan. Got Matty Harris, he's coming back in the gym. He had a good win the other day. He stopped his man in round 1. I thought the fellow was going to be hurt, to be honest, but he was all right. He you know, the fellow was good in the end. What else? Who else boxed? Gradis, young Gradis Krause here. He boxed last week, I think, over a week ago. He stopped a cruiserweight with a jab. I think he broke his nose actually with a jab. So he had a fantastic win. Who else? Who else is there? Yeah, just Matty Harris. There was Gradus Kraus. And that's it, Cougar. Now, looking forward to this April 4th show with Gradus and Hughie on it.
Absolutely. Get them wins on that card and then hopefully big fights after
Yeah,
that.
definitely. I think let's get him out, get a big fight for Hughie in June. And then he can step to whoever's available, whoever's going to take it, whoever wants to put it on. It's one of them, isn't it?
Peter, last one from me. Obviously, talking about the fight where Dubois had to pull out. Dubois is going to come back out in July, per Frank Warren. What do you think he should do? Should he fight Usyk again or Joshua again? What do you reckon? Daniel Dubois.
I don't know. I don't know what they're doing. I don't know. Really, I think Usyk would have been interested in it because it would have been for the undisputed. But is that not going to happen now? The undisputed.
Well, I mean, look, I've spoke to Frank Warren the other day. He said to me that Dubois, his words was Dubois made up his mind what he wants to do, and he said that everyone will be happy. I asked him whether it would be Usyk, could it be the rematch with Joshua? He wouldn't say, but I suppose we could lean possibly towards something with Usyk there because it's for all the belts.
But is it for the belts? Because I thought Parker's been made mandatory now.
Yeah, so Parker and has been ordered by the WBO to fight Usyk, but in these situations, I think whether it's a unification or undisputed could go ahead of that. That's the way I think it works.
Yeah, I think for especially talking on behalf of Usyk, I think he'll want the undisputed because that means 2 times undisputed for him. So yeah. I can see why he would want that.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? And I think for Dubois, he's got a chance at redemption. And again, Dubois has got nothing to lose because he's fighting the best in the world right now.
Yeah.
So I think it's a fight. I think that's a given. I think that's got to happen. I think that will be next.
Yeah. Be interesting to see how this plans out. So yeah.
What shows have you got next?
So we've got no show on this weekend here in the UK. Next week we've got Pat Brown makes his debut actually in Altrincham at cruiserweight. That's on a Matchroom show on the Friday.
Okay.
And then we've got a Misfits card in Manchester on the Saturday. And then after that, we've got Joe Joyce and Hrgovic. That's on the 5th of April. Obviously, Hrgovic coming in for injured Dillian Whyte. They're like the next few shows coming up.
I can see that being a slugfest.
Tough fight. It's a tough fight.
It's good. Listen, it's a good fight.
I love it. Yeah.
And I think they've got 2 similar styles. They're not far apart, are they, in the way they fight?
Yeah, I mean, look, after Dillian Whyte obviously had to withdraw with injury, I think that's a very good opponent against Hrgovic and Joe. So
definitely, it is. It's a good fight to be made. Yeah,
absolutely.
Hopefully, we can get these fights for Hughie very soon.
Yeah, we'll get the 4th of April out of the way and then see where he can go with it.
Are you going down? Are we seeing you on the 4th of April?
Yeah, we'll come down for it. It's the night before the Manchester show, but yeah.
I'll probably be down there a couple of days before anyway. So if you're down that way, we'll get together, have a bit of food or something.
I'll be there, 100%. Yeah.
Yeah, it'd be good to see you.
100%. Okay, Mr. Fury, thank you very much for your time on this Wednesday now afternoon. And we'll talk to you obviously nearer the 4th of April.
Mr. Cassius, it's always a pleasure.
All right, thank you very much. Good man, Peter Fury.
And you. See you, Kugan.